Am I visible and audible? Okay. A very good noon to you all. Today is the fourth day of semester 1 presentation, and I am going to present on a Victorian literature. And my topic is Character of Little Father Time in Hardy's novel Jude the Obscure. These are my personal details. These are some important points which I am going to discuss about in my today's entire presentation. Introduction of Thomas Hardy, about the text, character analysis of Little Father, what symbolizes the character of Little Father Time as Hardy's changeling child, purpose of my presentation and conclusion. So let's begin with the introduction of Thomas Hardy. Thomas Hardy was an English novelist and poet. His life period was from 1840 to 1921. Hardy is direct and simple, aiming at realism in all things. His works portrays the hardships of working class people. The return of the native and the woodlanders are generally regarded as Thomas Hardy's masterpiece. The idea of Wessex plays an important role in Hardy's novels. Thomas Hardy makes a man and significant part in all his novels. He considered as the realistic novelist during the Victorian era. His novels are generally powerful and sometimes fascinating, but not pleasant from the reader's point of view. About the text, Jude the Obscure. This novel reveals Thomas Hardy's major intention as demonstrated throughout his career as a novelist. Hardy's wish was to portray an honest picture of human nature. This novel appeared in book form in November 1895. It is Hardy's last completed novel. This novel, written by Thomas Hardy, created a huge impact on the minds of the readers. After this novel, Hardy stopped writing novels and moved towards poetry. So we can understand that this novel Jude the Obscure, written by Thomas Hardy, this novel serialized in the year 1894 and published as a book in the year 1895. In the novel, our protagonist Jude Fowley, he was from working class, working as a stone mason, and our next second protagonist is Sue Bridehead, or also known as Susanna Bridehead. They both are the protagonists of this novel called Jude the Obscure. The word obscure means which is not easily understood by everyone, or also we can say invisible, or the person which is not clear from his state of mind means obscure. Obscurity means difficulty to understand. And our protagonist Jude Foley is also portrayed as obscure by Thomas Hardy, because he don't know, because he is not clear about his aspirations in his life, and he don't know that what he want to do in his life. That is why the title signifies as the Jude the Obscure. Character analysis of Little Father Time. Little Father Time, the morbidly self conscious child in this novel who hangs himself and his younger brother and sister. The similarities between Jude and Little Father Time is readily apparent. Both Father Time and the young Jude are described by the narration in similar terms, because neither Jude nor his son enjoys a happy childhood. Little father considered himself as a burden. He cries to Sue Bridehead that I wish I hadn't been born. In the similar way, pessimistic by nature and by circumstances, Jude also felt the same, and he frequently wishes that he had never been born. So, one of the important character is Little Father Time, also known as Little Jude. He is the son of Jude and Arabella. raised in Australia by Arabella's parents. And though he is said to have not he is a young child, but still said to have as an old man. When the little father hanged himself and also hanged his step brother and step sister, this particular part in the novel considered as the climax scene in the novel, and from that particular scene we can find the complete change in the character of Sue Bridehead. What symbolizes the character of Little Father? Little Father Time is surely a thinly veiled persona for Thomas Hardy himself. He is gloom personified, an odd combination of child and man, of youth and an old age. A boy who seems obsessed too early with decay, death, and human misery. Little Father's motive was to alleviate the heavy burden of a family already too large for the elder Jude to support. So, what symbolizes the character of Little Father? That Little Father is a combination of child and man, and also a combination of youth and an old age. From the very early or young age, he obsessed too early with the concept of death and human misery, and he thinks about himself that he is the burden for his parents, and he hanged himself with his brother and with his step brother and sister, because he thinks that we are too many, and he thinks that we are a burden for our parents. Little Father Time as Hardy's changeling child. The changeling figure is an alien child. Changeling are by definition. Changeling means a child which is suspected not to have a couple's real child. And here we can understand that the little father or little Jude is not the son of Sue and Jude, but he is a son of Arabella and Jude. Changeling are by definition abnormal, or we can say unnatural, though the abnormality can take a variety in many forms. The changeling child is sickly or even mentally handicapped. The character of Little Father Time, of course, is not a literal fairy child, but he possessed several of the characteristics of the changeling to a marked degree. This character, as a changeling, one embodies and dramatizes the issue of motherhood and abandonment. Another characteristic tying him to changelings is the fact that his parentage remains at issue throughout the novel. That we can understand that when he start to stay with Sue and Jude, whenever they are going out, little father always expressionless, because he don't understand the things very clearly. That is why and the parentage issue always remains the same throughout the novel, because his mother Arabella also abandoned him. Purpose of my presentation, why I have selected this particular topic for my presentation, because as we have seen that the character of little father is a changeling child. That means it's a kind of deformity, and but we all need to change our thinking towards the concept of deformity, as we have seen the concept of deformity in the novel Frankenstein also. But what is important, that we need to change our concept of the concept of deformity, that when someone is deformative in any way, we should help them, because it's not the person's individual fault. So we need to change our thinking. Conclusion. To conclude my point, I would like to say that the character of Little Father in Jude the Obscure is totally different from other characters. Throughout the novel, we all can find the obscurity of all the characters in one or the other way. But I personally believe that the most obscure character in the novel is Little father that who hanged himself as a part of thinking that we are considered as a burden of our parents. So Hardy portrayed his character in this way, and that is why he is one of the most obscure character in the novel. These are my work citations that you can see here. So now you can ask me questions.
Yes, Hethel, my question is that why little Father Time considers himself as a burden?
Okay, little father considered himself as a burden because he knew the struggles of his parents, that how my parents both are struggling about the work, and because we are too many, because of us they need to suffer more, and that is why he think that if we are not that much, they had little not that much, because it is because of us that they need to work in this way, and that is why he considered that we are as a burden to our parents.
Hethel, do you think that for the tragedy of suicide is because of his parents?
No, I'm not thinking that the tragedy of suicide is because of parents, because parents are not at all responsible for whatever happened with the little father and his stepbrother and stepsister. But it is the individual thinking of little father that we are the burden for our parents, and that is why this tragedy happened. But parents are not involved in this because they are not aware about these things.